what is the transition for when Dr. Rollison and I switch back?
She's going to talk about why public funding is so important for research.
Okay.
And then, so once you hear that, I would wait right over here.
Okay.
And if we have any questions regarding research.
Okay, we'll let her do that and then we'll swap.
New location, new month, and a new logo. Miles from Moffitt is getting a makeover. The 13th annual fundraiser is 1 month away, and we need your help to make it the best race yet.
Since 2006, thousands of runners, walkers, and wheelchair racers have raised more than $4 million for cancer research. This year's Miles from Moffitt race is on December 8th at a brand new location in downtown Tampa. If you haven't registered yet, log on to milesformoffitt.com and join a team or start one of your own. We want to hear from you. We're taking your Miles from Moffitt questions live. Simply write your question in the comments section and we'll answer it for you. Plus, the first 100 people to share and submit a question or make a comment on this post will receive this special Miles from Moffitt t-shirt. I'm joined now by Special Events Coordinator Allison Fonner. She is organizing this year's Miles from Moffitt race. Now, a lot has changed this year, but the mission remains the same, to fund research that contributes to the prevention and cure of cancer. Allison, tell us a little bit about Miles from Moffitt.
Miles from Moffitt is our annual run walk that we do here at Moffitt. And we will be in downtown Tampa this year on December 8th, trying to raise as much money for cancer research here as possible.
And how can people register?
They can go to milesformoffitt.com, which is our website, click on that register button, and there's all the options there right in front of them.
Perfect. And is there a deadline to register for Miles from Moffitt?
On November 27th, prices will increase by $10. However, you can sign up actually all the way up until race day. So if they want to come out on December 8th morning, 7 a.m. is when packet pickup and race day registration will open.
And what did participants receive with their registration?
Lots of really cool swag. So first and foremost, they get a finisher medal when they cross the finish line. They also will get 2 free Tampa Bay race tickets for next season, as well as a nice fancy t-shirt.
Wonderful. And this year's race is a little bit different because we are changing locations, and it will be in downtown Tampa, giving runners and walkers the opportunity to run or stroll down beautiful Bayshore Boulevard. Tell us a little bit about this new route, and is there a difference between the 5K and the 10K?
Yes, so the 5K and the 10K will actually start at the exact same time this year, which is something new for us. So that'll be at 8:30 a.m. on December 8th. They will start right in front of Amalie Arena on Channel Side, proceed over the Platte Bridge, down Bayshore Boulevard, and back. The turnarounds you'll notice are different, but it's pretty neat that we'll have all of those runners and walkers in the chute for the 5K and 10K at the same time. Be a really special moment where we will recognize our survivors, and that'll be really cool. So we're excited for that this year.
Wonderful. And we just talked about the 5K and the 10K, but there is also a 1-mile run as well as a kids fun run. Now, if somebody isn't a runner or a walker, how can they participate?
Yes, we still need volunteers. It takes close to 400 volunteers to make this event happen, and we are so grateful to anybody who is willing to donate their time. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can go to milesformoffitt.com, where you can visit the registration page, and it's actually on the registration page as an option to sign up this year.
And one of the things that does make Miles from Moffitt unique is that 100% of the proceeds goes toward cancer research right here at Moffitt Cancer Center. Tell us a little bit about our sponsors that make this possible.
Miles from Moffitt is presented by AutoNation. They have been our presenting sponsor now for a few years, and we are super grateful to them amongst many other sponsors who help us underwrite the cost for the event, so that we can guarantee that those funds can go straight back to our researchers.
And we are taking your Facebook questions live, and we have a Facebook question from Danielle. She says that she knows that strollers are allowed, but she is wondering about wagons.
Yes, you are absolutely welcome to bring your wagon as well. We just ask that when you do line up for the race, that you line up towards the back of the chute so that we allow our runners and walkers to go first. And then we allow for strollers and wagons in the back. So you can certainly pull your little ones in your wagon on race day.
Perfect. And we are taking your Miles for Moffitt questions live. Please be sure to put them in the comments section below. Again, to register for Miles for Moffitt, visit milesformoffitt.com. And I am being told that we have a very special guest who wants to talk about this race. He joins us now live. As you can tell, Raymond from the Tampa Bay Rays is very excited for Miles for Moffitt coming up exactly 1 month from today on December 8th in downtown Tampa. As Allison mentioned, everybody who registers for the Miles for Moffitt race will receive 2 free race tickets for a game next season. Now, of course, the race swag is nice, but the real reason we participate in Miles for Moffitt is to help fund research right here at Moffitt Cancer Center. Again, the unique thing about Miles for Moffitt is that 100% of your registration fees goes directly toward research. In fact, during the past 12 years, Miles for Moffitt has raised $4.3 million and has funded more than 50 research projects. These projects were then able to generate an additional $17 million in grant funding. Allison will be back a little bit later to tell us more about the logistics of the event and what we can expect the morning of December 8th. But right now, I'm joined by Dr. Dana Rollison. She is our Chief Data Officer, Associate Center Director for Data Science, as well as a researcher right here at Moffitt Cancer Center. Now, Dr. Rollison, you've been the recipient of a Miles for Moffitt grant, and you're also one of our top 10 fundraisers. Tell us a little bit about why Miles for Moffitt is so important to you professionally as well as personally.
Sure. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Nancy. Miles for Moffitt, over the 14 years that I've worked at Moffitt, has been an event that really inspires what I do. And my own personal story also inspires what I do, and I'm able to celebrate that to our Miles for Moffitt audience every year, which is a privilege, I really feel. My own story is that when I was younger, my mother was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma when I was 2, and she later battled lymphoma a second time and then had breast cancer, and for 25 years she fought a really tough battle, was very courageous in her battle, but unfortunately passed away at the age of 49. And I just felt inspired to understand what causes cancer so that we can try to prevent cancer from happening to others. And that's why I went into research myself. I'm a cancer epidemiologist, studying what causes cancer so we can develop new ways to prevent it. Miles for Moffitt is a time to remember why we go into research, whether it's our own personal stories like the one I just shared with you, or the stories of our patients. One of the most inspirational parts of the race is seeing the survivors celebrated at the end of the race, whether they're undergoing treatment or have successfully conquered their cancer. It's truly a reminder that we're winning this war on cancer. And for those loved ones who have passed on and are with us in spirit, it's a time to commemorate them as well. And in fact, my own daughter, who has been attending the race every year of her life, runs in memory of my mother, her grandmother, who she never was able to meet. But yet the event is a way to keep our loved ones front and center, as well as our patients. And so from a personal standpoint, as well as a researcher myself, being inspired by others running the race, it is truly a special event.
It definitely is a special event, and we are taking your questions about Miles for Moffitt live. Just be sure to write your question in the comment section below, and keep in mind the first 100 people to comment or to submit a question will receive a special Miles for Moffitt t-shirt. And as we mentioned earlier, 100% of the proceeds from Miles for Moffitt does go to research right here at Moffitt Cancer Center. Dr. Rollison, tell us a little bit about some of the projects that have been funded thanks to Miles for Moffitt.
It's really remarkable the range of science that we're able to support through the generosity of the public coming together to rally for cancer research. Everything from new ways to prevent cancer, like I mentioned my own research to study, for example, vaccines to prevent cancer from happening, or behavioral research to understand how we can motivate people to adopt healthy lifestyles and prevent cancer, to finding new therapies and curing patients. You may have heard about immunotherapy, how we use our immune system to fight our own disease. Other exciting advances are things called targeted therapy, where we look at the molecular aspects of the cancer and pick the right drug at the beginning to have success in treating that patient with minimal side effects. All of these types of research are funded through Miles for Moffitt. Other examples include diversity. How do different racial or ethnic groups suffer from cancer differentially, and how can we improve prevention and treatment in a way to make sure that no group of the population is unduly burdened by the disease. And other examples include big data. So you heard from the outset, I'm the Chief Data Officer. So how do we use all of the information that we collect from our patients to learn and come up with better treatments to improve the experience of our future patients? And so all of these types of research, from prevention through cure, are targeted by the research that's funded through Miles for Moffitt.
Perfect. And we are taking your Facebook questions live. Simply write your question in the comment section below and we will answer it for you. Plus, the first 100 people to submit a comment or a question will receive a free Miles for Moffitt t-shirt. And one of the questions that just came in from our Facebook audience is for Dr. Rollison. And it says, with dwindling government funding, how important is fundraising?
It is so important, Nancy, as you just mentioned, or the viewer just mentioned, that public funding for research is declining, and while the cost of research is increasing. So the amount of money that's available through the National Cancer Institute, for example, is not keeping pace with the cost of doing research, and therefore there's not enough money in grants to really win that war on cancer, and that's why public funding is so important. Another reason is that the federal funding agencies, such as the National Cancer Institute, are looking for projects that already have evidence of success. And so to be successful in getting federal grant dollars, you have to generate what we call preliminary data, experiments that show your idea is a promising idea. And then those promising ideas that have information already to support it are ultimately what gets funded by organizations like the National Cancer Institute. So the pilot funds that we raise through Miles for Moffitt are so critical to getting bigger grants from the federal government. In fact, my own Miles for Moffitt money was used in that way to generate preliminary or pilot data that was then used to get a grant from the National Cancer Institute for over $2 million. So we really are dependent on our community coming through, contributing to our research so that we can then turn that into more research dollars to advance our mission.
Well, this is great information. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, Dr. Rollison.
My pleasure.
And we'll be right back with more details about what to expect the morning of December 8th during the 13th annual Miles for Moffitt race. Welcome back, Allison. Again, we are taking your Miles from Moffitt questions live, so please write them down in the comment section. The first 100 people to write a comment or ask a question will receive a special Miles from Moffitt t-shirt. Now, as you saw, we're all very excited for Miles from Moffitt coming up 1 month from today, December 8th, in downtown Tampa. And tell us a little bit about what we can expect that morning.
Yeah, so we'll start things off with at 7 a.m. will be race day registration and packet pickup. So if you do wait until December 8th, you will still have the opportunity to pick up your packet, which will include those great items that we mentioned earlier. So your t-shirt, your bib, that sort of thing, as well as your tickets to the Tampa Bay Rays game. And then also, of course, race day registration if you're interested in coming out the day of. After that, we'll start our opening ceremony at 8 a.m. So we'll be hoping to get everybody towards the race shoot area then to really gear up and hear about our Survivor Tribute and what's going on at Moffitt. And then, of course, at 8:30 is when the 5K and 10K go off. Later at 9 is when the 1 mile goes off. And then we do have our Kids Dash a little later on, which is 10 a.m. So you are actually able to walk the 1 mile and still have your kid participate in the Kids Dash, which is something cool to think about so that you both can actually have fun that day.
Oh, that's wonderful. And we are getting a lot of questions about race day parking. What can you tell us?
Yes, so what I can tell you is that you will be getting an email. If you have signed up for the race, you will be getting a parking advisory coming out to you after the Thanksgiving holiday. Once we get through that, we'll certainly be giving you more information about those parking areas. The roads, will be shutting down around 6:30 in the morning. So I would advise you to get out there earlier in the morning. There'll definitely be stuff for you to do in the Race Village area while you wait. And then, as I mentioned, those parking garages, Fort Brooke Garage, pretty much any of those garages and lots towards the city side of the Selman Expressway will be available for you to park.
As we mentioned earlier, we are taking your Facebook questions live regarding Miles from Moffitt, and we do have a couple of questions from our audience. I know you touched on this a little bit before, but several people are asking again if strollers or specifically jogging strollers are allowed.
Yes, so we really hope that if you are going to use a jogging stroller that you participate in the 1 mile option. We really try to stay as safe as possible. So if you're competing in the 2 timed distances, which are the 5K and the 10K, we hope that you would not use your jogging stroller. And if you do, please do stay towards the back of the pack. But certainly for the 1 mile fun run, that is definitely an option.
And speaking of the 10K and the 5K, we do have a question asking if you can switch from the 10K to the 5K.
Yes, absolutely. So you can do that on race day, but if you'd like to do so ahead of time, please email us at milesformoffitt@moffitt.org, and we'd be happy to switch that for you.
And as we mentioned earlier, you don't need to be a runner or a walker to participate. There are opportunities to volunteer. And we do have a Facebook question asking where can people go to sign up to volunteer?
Sure. You can visit milesformoffitt.com. What's really great this year is that our volunteers are actually considered registrants. So we wanted to give you the opportunity and the recognition to have your own fundraising page this year. So all volunteers will go to milesformoffitt.com. You can click on the registration tab. You can even join a team as a volunteer this year. And there'll be all the lists of positions there for you that are still available. Actually, at the volunteer tab on the website, you can read over those job descriptions before you select what you'd like to volunteer as. So check that out. Again, milesformoffitt.com on that registration tab.
And we do have a question from Survivor. They are asking if survivors get invited or if they should just show up at the events.
Yeah, so we hope that if you're a survivor, you can actually come out and participate and register for our 1 mile, 5K, or 10K. If that's not your speed, you can certainly come out and join us on race day. We would love to have your company. This event is about Moffitt as a whole and the community of courage that we inspire, and you're a part of that. So we want you to come out, experience this day, experience what Moffitt's all about, and we can't wait to see you.
And we have another question regarding Moffitt's Mole Patrol. They are wondering if Moffitt's Mole Patrol will be on site.
Yes, they will. They wouldn't miss it. They have been there for 12 years now. They will certainly be there on December 8th, right in Fort Thunder Alley.
And we have another question from a Facebook fan asking how they can use social media to help promote the events.
Yeah, we would love for you to do that. So first things first, you can share this video. So please share this video with your friends and family. If you've registered for the event, or even if you'd just like to go to milesformoffitt.com, there's some social icons right on the homepage and in your fundraising page that you can click on to share both Facebook, Twitter, you name it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Allison, to talk about Miles for Moffitt. Again, Miles for Moffitt is Saturday, December 8th. That's exactly 1 month from today. If you haven't already registered, be sure to log on to milesformoffitt.com and join a team or form one of your own. You can register for the 5K, the 10K, or the virtual run, or sign up to be a volunteer. And if you can't make it out to the race next month, we will continue taking donations through January 11th. We hope to see you there.